Hi guys, it's Alex here again. I'm going to be doing a collection video where I show you all of my Walking Dead and comic stuff. So first up, we have all my Walking Dead comic issues. We have issues 9, 114, and 126 for the first couple comics I got. So we have 9 right here. I really like this cover with the reflection in the walker's eye. You can see Rick, which is a Walking Dead weekly. Picked that up on Amazon. This was the very first comic I ever bought at a comic store, and the first comic I ever bought in general. One of the best comics too. And then 114, where we have Paul Monroe, who's one of my favorite comic characters in The Walking Dead. I really like this cover. And then I have 127 through current. Yeah, and 147 will be out next week, so that's exciting. Some of the comics I have on display behind me. We'll get to that later. Next, we have Outcast. I have all of the issues. I think they're all first print. I have 1 through 6 first print at least. So that should be worth quite a bit later. Down the road if it gets more popular. I know the first issue went into 7th or 8th printing. It's a really good comic though, you should check it out. And then we have Invincible. I read the whole series up to date online through 110, and then I started buying it with 111, which we got here. And I have 111 through current copy. Probably my favorite issue ever is 115, which is the start of the Battle Beast v Thrag fight, which has just some of the best art I've ever seen in comics. Ryan Ottley does a fantastic job. If you don't read Invincible, you really should. It's also written by Robert Kirkman. It's one of the best comics out there. Next up we have Birthright. I have issues 1 through 5, which create volume 1. Now, I didn't really like the original cover for issue 1, but there were a couple of variants out there that they made, so I got the second variant made. But then everything else, and this is a first print, everything else is the first cover, first print. And then I stopped buying the issues monthly, because comics can get pretty expensive if you read a lot. And I just buy the volumes, which we'll get to my volumes later. They're right back there. And then next up I have Manifest Destiny. I bought volume 1. We'll get to that in a minute. And then I started reading 7 through 12. I got 7 on my Nook, and I started with 8, so I have 8 through 12. And then I stopped reading those too. Just getting the volumes. Volume 3 comes out in November, I believe. And so that's it for my regular issues that I have not on display. I'm going to get to those at the end at my desk, along with the Funko figures. Next up we have hardcovers, volumes, omnibus, all that kind of stuff. So I have The Walking Dead Omnibus 1. Got that for my birthday last year. The first 24 issues. Really nice cover on the outside that you can take off. And then it's just issues 1 through 24. It's a little bit expensive. It's definitely cheaper to get the compendiums, but this is a little bit smaller size, and it comes with a hardcover case, which is really cool. If you want to collect, like, I think Omnibus 6 or 7 came out recently, or will be coming out soon. They contain 24 issues of The Walking Dead. I have volumes 1 through 7 on my Nook, which is when I first started reading The Walking Dead comic, and then I sort of skipped a little bit to 126, which is a pretty stupid place to start, but got to see the very end of All Out War, and then start with A New Beginning, which is been really good. The story. And then for the Walking Dead hardcovers and stuff, I have issue 1, 10th anniversary edition, which has some cool interviews and stuff with Robert Kirkman in the back. There was the original intro that they had for the very first issue. Rick's a lot more buff in this. And Lori's name was actually Carol to start with, which is pretty interesting. They started off, Rick and Lori were in their house together in the start of that. But I picked this up on Amazon for $6, which is pretty nice. And then I got this at Comic-Con last year, the 100 Project, which has all of the variant covers that they had people do for issue 100. These are really cool to see. And like Ryan Otley did one, Charlie Adler did another one. There's tons in here. Because 100 is a pretty big issue. And then I have volumes 22 or 23. Yeah, 22 and 23. I'm not getting the volumes anymore because they're just kind of, I bought them for reread value because I don't want to open up my comics again, the issues, to read them. So I bought these just to read. But I ordered Compendium 3 a month ago. That should be coming soon. I might sell these at some point because they're just kind of there, and then I'll have Compendium 3. But they're kind of nice if you want to have like a lot in a row. Then this is sort of a little thing. My favorite musician band is Dr. Dog, and this is one of my favorite songs by them, Humble Passenger. It might be opposite there for you. Probably can't read it. They just turned the song, which is like 6 minutes long, into a storybook comic. And I thought, two of my favorite things, comics and my favorite band. So I got that. Then I have Manifest Destiny Volume 1. There's this hardcover limited edition version, which is pretty awesome. I think that's leather, maybe. I have a really bad camera, but there you go. And then I have Volume 2. Volume 3 is coming out in November, as I said previously in the video. Another comic that I got was White Death, which is a story about the White War in Italy. And the art is done by Charlie Adlard, who draws for the Walking Dead comics, so I thought this could be pretty good. And it came in handy during Social Studies class last year because I knew a lot of stuff about the war because I just read this. It's a really good story though. It's short, but it's good. And then I have Outcast Volume 1, just Volume 1. Kind of just to have it. Like to support Robert Kirkman because he does a lot. Then I have Birthright Volumes 1, which this is one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen. The art is phenomenal and I love the colors. And then I have Volume 2. As I said, I read issues 1 through 5 with the issues, and then I started reading with the volumes. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep doing that for a while. Now, this is one of my favorite story arcs in any comic I've ever read. In the background there, we got Battle Beast and Thrag. This has some of the greatest art I've ever seen. Here's one of them. This full page panel right there. This is the kind of art that I like to see in comics. And it's just great to see stuff like this. Like, look at this full page panel of the baby. So cute. There's just some amazing art in here. I'm not going to spoil anything because there's a big death in it. This is the chapter 1. This is one of my favorite covers ever. Features Battle Beast. Here's another cover with Battle Beast. And then there's this 2-page spread, which just one of the greatest pictures I've ever seen. Battle Beast and Thrag going at it. And it's just really cool how they did this. And throughout this volume, you just see tons of random artwork and like full page panels with the two fighting. And it's so good to see art like that. I love full page panels, especially 2-page panels, where it's all one picture. Let's see, I think there was another one in here of them fighting. No, I mean that. There's the death right there, but yeah, this one's still my favorite right here. Where'd it go? Right here. It's gotta be one of my favorites. I stupid decision, but I folded the comic backwards, and so this page was at the front of it. I folded it back like that, the issue, and I put it in the case, the cover like that, the bag, so that you could see this page. But you know, and then recently I picked up Preacher, which was recommended to me by my friend, who actually was the person who first told me about The Walking Dead TV show, which then led me to comics and the comic for The Walking Dead. I've only gone through volume 1 of this, or like the first 2 issues. This is the first book, which has 12 issues. It's really interesting. It's extremely religiously controversial. So I mean, if you have strong views about your religion, do not read that. Like, I'm not kidding. It pisses people off. Like, they even said in the intro, this has huge fans and huge hate people. Like, people hate this comic because of how controversial it is. So I'm not going to get into detail about what the story is. You can check it out though. It's good, but again, if you have strong views about your religion or beliefs, you know, just don't read it. And then this was recommended to me by Eric Jensen, who plays Dr. Edward Jenner, I believe is his name, on The Walking Dead, who is in the hospital that Beth was at. And he recommended this on Twitter. And it's kind of like, what's it called? Mad Max a little bit. It's kind of like there's like a huge apocalypse thing, and then there's just deserts everywhere. And it's like 100 years after that. It's called The Big Wet in this story. And it follows a traveler named Michael, who's on the cover. You know, just it's pretty interesting. I haven't finished it yet because I mean school has been really busy. That's it for volumes. We'll go on to my pictures from Comic-Con, and then my Planet of the Apes statue next. So next up I'll be showing my pictures from actors that I met at Comic-Con, and my Planet of the Apes statue, a couple of Walking Dead magazines I have, some smaller posters, and then I'll show off my posters later. So right here we have me with Scott Wilson, Herschel from the Walking Dead show. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met, like actors. I mean, it was quick. If I ever meet him again, I'll do an autograph, see if I can have him sign this. I got it framed a couple weeks after with this red and white frame. And then later that year, that school year, last summer in May, I got to meet one of my favorite actors ever here. I put this tag in there. It came with this shirt, Ezekiel shirt. Lenny James, who plays Morgan in the Walking Dead show. And then there's me next to him. He's actually kind of short, but then again, I'm kind of tall. He really nice. If you didn't know, he's in the show Jericho. He's one of the main characters, another post-apocalyptic show. He's a really good actor. I would recommend watching his other movies if you haven't. And he's really nice. Every person that walked in, he shook their hand, said, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you." You know, how's your day? Like, just really nice. I was just completely shocked and frozen. Like, I had so many things I wanted to tell him, like, you know, you're my favorite actor, all that kind of stuff, and I just kind of froze up. I kind of didn't say anything. I said thank you so much as I was walking out the door, but he's really nice, and it was awesome to meet him. Those are my two favorite actors, Scott Wilson and Lenny James. And then next up we have my Planet of the Apes statue. I got this for Christmas last year. This is Caesar from the newer films, and it's just a bust of him. And then in the back you have this open up thing. This isn't an unboxing video, I'm not going to show everything, but it came with Rise of the Planet of the Apes on DVD, on Blu-ray and DVD, and then digital HD, and then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes on 3D, Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray, and digital HD. I don't have a 3D TV, so I'll just have to wait until I find someone who does to go watch it. but I did watch it on regular Blu-ray. And then it comes with this little packet that has a booklet on how they filmed it and did the animation, which is really cool. And then it comes with some character cards. I'll just show you Caesar. Just like a little postcard type thing. It has their name on the back and just a really close-up picture of them. It has Caesar, Koba, his son Rocket, I think. Man, I'm really bad at that. I hate that I forgot his son's name. Yeah, Rocket and Luca. There you go. Sort of the four main apes in the newer films. And then I also bought, over the summer, I got the Planet of the Apes Legacy Collection, which has the first original films, which was really good buy. It was like $25. It came with all four of the movies, or five. Yeah, all five of the movies. Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and Battle for the Planet of the Apes. It was a really good find at Best Buy. Really nice cover, and that was upside down. Anyway, it's really nice. If you enjoy the Planet of the Apes movies and you don't have them already, find this at Best Buy. I don't know if they still have it, but it was good. Next up, we have some posters that I got at Comic-Con. My first ever Comic-Con was almost a year ago, in November. I got this, which is signed by the artist, and then it has a verification thing. I actually bought it from him. It's one of the covers. I forgot his name, but you know. And then I got this one at my most recent Comic-Con, which is one of my favorite posters ever of Rick. This was even his face. I took that out using Photoshop, and I put my username here. It was my profile picture for a while. This was Logan Pack. He's a really good artist. There's one that he goes to Comic-Con a lot. There was one of Rick, there's one of Daryl, I think maybe Carol, someone like that. I've asked him to do a Lenny James one on Instagram, or Morgan, and he said he'd think about it since he's going to be sort of a main character in season 6. I told him I'd definitely buy that if he did one, so we'll see what happens. And then I have some Walking Dead magazines. I want to get the other two variants for this one. So there's issue 12. It came out with this variant, and then if you've seen the poster, the banner for A New Beginning, there's a whole like 3-part thing, and this is just one part of it. There's 3 issues of the Walking Dead magazine that all connect together to make that. I only have the middle one because it has Rick, Negan, and Carl, but the other one has Magna, not Lydia, Andrea, Paul Monroe, Heath, you know, all the Alexandrians in the background, and then some other on the other side. And then this is one of my favorite promo arts out there. This was done by Charlie Adlard just before A New Beginning started. I'm doing we have to do a history of project in Photoshop, and I did a history of The Walking Dead, of course, and I used Photoshop to cut this out and put that on the front cover with some other stuff in the background. I'll probably show that on Instagram when it's done. And this is one of my favorite pictures ever again. And same with this one. Some, magazines are pretty long and have a lot of reads. A lot of articles to read, so that's always nice. Next, we'll move on to my Funko figures and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so next up we have my desk. It's a little bit dirty. Got some stuff there. I showed you these 2 posters right there. So over here we have some more posters. There's some artwork I did. Super Fight, which is created by Darren Ross. Sorry, I believe that's his name. Really fun game. I also there's a Walking Dead version of it. Skybound helped with it a little bit. And then there's this really cool lamp that I made, a box lamp. I made it where my dad works. It lights up. I put some silhouettes and I laser cut them with wood. And then I put some pretty recognizable silhouettes from The Walking Dead show and comic, and then the logo on the front, and it just lights up. Next we have my wall of comics, sort of. So we have This issue, I really like the cover. You know, Carl's probably my favorite character in the comics right now. I'm a little mad at him for what he's doing, but you know. And then when this cover was revealed with Rick 144, I thought immediately, all right, that's going straight on the wall right next to Carl, because I mean I love how the backgrounds match. Um, they're sort of similar colors, and it just two close-ups. I'm hoping we get a close-up of Negan soon, or Maggie maybe, or Andrea, something like that. Maybe even Michonne. We'll see how things go. And then here's the 144 variant. I got this off Skybound's website like the second they put them online after Comic-Con. I bought this and the Super Fight Walking Dead. And then I went back to buy that. I wanted to make sure I got the Walking Dead cover because I knew there would be people wanting to buy them. So I took it out once I got it and flipped it around so that the faces match, because I enjoy Outcast and The Walking Dead. And then this cover I picked up on eBay. It's about $20, I think, but it was worth it. This is of Carl, a variant cover done by, I don't see a signature. I'm not sure. But it's the Des Moines Wizard World Comic-Con variant. And then these are just sort of there for a little bit. They kind of match the black. And then Negan's my favorite character. When 149 comes out, which is called Devil on Your Shoulder, and it has Negan standing behind Rick, I'm going to put that right here next to Carl. And then I'll probably keep that Negan one there. We'll see what happens. So these are my favorite covers, except for that one, which is kind of black and it matches. I'm going to Comic-Con in a couple weeks, and there's a new variant coming out, and the background's black, so I'll probably put that instead of that one. Or that instead of that one, and then once 149 comes out, I'll put it instead of that one. And so then next we have my Funko figures. So the first one I got, I hate Herschel's figures. He never stands up. Listen to that. The first ones I got were Rick and Glenn, which are, I mean, I really like Funko figures. I've never really liked action figures, because I never had them as a kid, and I feel like sometimes the point of action figures is for them to look as close to the people as possible. And no offense to McFarlane, they do a really good job, but sometimes they don't turn out very well. And I kind of like these cartoonish looks. They look a little nicer all around. And again, McFarlane is doing a fantastic job. I'm probably going to get the Morgan, maybe the Paul Monroe, and I'm definitely going to get a New Beginning Rick and Carl when those come out, because I know they won't make Funkos for that. They typically, again, my opinion, they typically do a better job on comic characters, turning them into action figures than show characters. But anyway, then next I went to Comic-Con, and I got this Herschel, who actually stands up pretty well, despite that one. And then I got this black and white Daryl, which is pretty interesting. And then later that year, I bought this Daryl on his chopper, which is really good. I found it for like $15. And normally these are like 10. I saw this for 30 in one place. And then just randomly, I've been buying the little figures. I'm probably not going to do many of them. And then at Comic-Con, when I met Lenny James, I got Rafiki, I think is his name, from The Lion King. He's one of my favorite characters from like my childhood movies and stuff like that. And then I bought Groot, of course. This is the bobblehead one. I had this in my car, but it looked like it was gonna melt or something. It got really hot. The spring started to mess up a little bit, so I brought it back into my house. So that's my desk. Over here, just have all the boxes for it. And then I have some of my, this is my favorite regular book series, Ranger's Apprentice. The new one's coming out soon. I have The Walking Dead. My friend gave that to me. He's really nice. He also got an iTunes gift card. He doesn't have an iPhone, so he gave that to me. I have a poster that fell down. I haven't put it back up yet. I need to do that. This is the one with Rick squatting, I think. Yeah, in the train car after season 4. where it says like survive or something like that. Can't remember. And then over here we have the original season 1 poster. I need to get a new one. I'm not good at hanging things up, especially posters, and this wall is really thick, like really hard, and the tacks don't stick in well. And then over here, I got a newer poster. It's uneven, but the season 5 mid-season poster. And some guitars. Hammer Grat. I have the Walking Dead board game that I got for Christmas a couple years ago. And then down here, there's the Planet of the Apes box that the statue came in. And that should be it, really, for my collection of the Walking Dead stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. The next video should be the review for Season 6 premiere. See you then. Ba-da-dum-bum, 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 ba-da-dum-bum.